we play Blinded by the Light, Manfred Mann and the Earth Band is because our next guest is actually live in the studio. And for those who know our show and have followed us over the years, he's been a loyal listener right from the start. His name is, I call him Crestani. Paul Crestani is his name. He lives out in Gossies, and he is he's just a sports nuffy with the help of his son, Toby. And the reason why Toby is in the studio, because, well, he's actually not required because he can speak, our guest, he can't see. Paul Crestani, good morning.
Morning, boys.
You don't actually call him Crestani, you call him Crestani.
Yep, Crestani. And Toby, well done to you. You're back in the studio. And, of course, for those who don't know, Toby did a cameo role calling a game of basketball last year on SEN WA. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, good, mate.
Hey, Crestani, we've got you in because we want to talk to you about life, being blind, and how you get your sporting intake and how you're so knowledgeable and you do keep us on our toes. Your knowledge is second to none. But before then, we're going to play your favourite segment here on the show. We know this is the segment that you absolutely love. What would it be, Paul?
On this day, without a question.
Here it is. He loves it.
Birthdays, events, and some of the great moments in history. It's On This Day.
Barrow Day, because the little things are everything. Happy birthday, celebrating birthday, 6th day of November. Nigel Havers is 73. Famous for what? Anybody? Anyone want to try? Nigel Havers? British actor? Movie?
Oh, Chariots of Fire. It was uplifting.
What was the last movie you watched, Paul?
Probably The Castle.
Yeah, it's a ripper, isn't it?
And it would have taken Toby and his siblings to see a whole heap of kids' movies as well. So.
Yeah, so can you take in, can I be honest with you, you take in the movies purely by audio, obviously.
Correct.
But do you get a good vibe, I'm being serious, do you get a good vibe for what's happening on the movie? Do you picture exactly what's going on?
Not really, because you don't picture things in everyday life, so you don't try and do something that you don't understand. But you do pay a lot of attention to the conversations. There, many movies are what's called audio described. So when you go and watch a movie, you'll often see there's like a little AD logo on there.
Yeah.
And if you click that on, you'll get like a commentary of what's happening on the screen.
Yeah.
Not all movies have it, but many of them do. And when I say the last movie I watched, I actually went to the movies 2 Sundays ago down at Fremantle. We watched a movie which was partly filmed in Gosnells called He Ain't Heavy. It's a
Brilliant.
good movie.
Did you get a discount?
Well, I did use my companion card.
Yeah, fair enough too.
All right, enough wisecracks, mate, all right?
Coming from you.
Do you care where you sit? And Tobes, can I ask you, as a son of someone who is completely blind, what's your role in Dad's life? In sport, and we know you called the basketball, I get all that, but what's your role in going to the movies, doing the shopping? I mean, you're 20 years of age, you're a young man who's got vibey friends and you're out and about doing your thing. I'd just love to know what your role is.
Well, in live sport, I have to take him there. But if he's watching at home, like he knows how to put it on his phone on the AFL app. But if he wants to put it on TV, I have to put it on.
Yep.
And like using apps like AFL Fantasy and NBL Supercoach and stuff like that, like I have to do it all for him. And it's a lot easier when you're like with those sorts of apps. It's a lot easier to scroll through a bunch of names and go, nah, they're rubbish. But with Dad, I have to read out every single name, so he doesn't know that I've really missed like a good option because I'm doing bad.
Hey, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised about that because he picks up on every mistake we make. He doesn't miss much when we're here. We're going to get one more away before we take some news, and we're going to come back and talk more to our guests in the studio, Paul and Toby Crestani.
Day, haven't we?
We've got, yes, we do.
You got a Melbourne Cup winner from yesteryear?
It's all of a sudden become your show. Rightio.
That was yesterday. We went through about 6 winners yesterday. Are you listening at all?
Well, yeah, but I don't think...
There were two you mentioned. Media positives.
Sheila Laxon, who trained yesterday's winner, co-trained yesterday's winner. She trained Ethereal to win the Melbourne Cup on this day in 2008. Scotty and Goss, made in WA for WA. Coming up after 7 o'clock, Emma O'Driscoll from the Fremantle Football Club. Fremantle Dockers AFLW girls are in finals action this Saturday night against Essendon. At 4 o'clock, going to be a big game down there. Week 1 of the finals. Fifth plays 8th. And then after 7:30, Christian Doolittle from the Perth Wildcats. Of course, they're in action tomorrow night. They take on the Jack Jumpers. I'll be there courtside with Phil Doherty, former Perth Wildcat. And then they butter up again, which they're not very good at, Saturday, John Cain Arena. How are you finding the Perth Wildcat season, Toby?
Oh, well, if you'd asked me before the game on it's the game on Sunday, I would have said quite well. Despite being 50-50, our last 2 games were very, very good, being the top 2 teams without Bryce, and then absolutely no idea what's happened on Sunday. It really shows that we really need Bryce Cotton out there.
They do. And the other bloke wasn't there either, Windler.
Yeah, I feel like every time Windler hasn't played, we've just got absolutely flogged.
Yeah.
Like,
He's much better than that. He's much better than that. So, look, we'll wait and see how that all plays out. Hey, Dave from Bunbury's given us a call in. He wants to talk to Paul and Toby. G'day, Dave.
Morning, boys. How are you?
Going well, Dave. What's happening, mate?
All the good stuff. Just a lonely truck driver, always up for a chat. So,
Where are you heading, Dave?
Quickly, boys. I am currently heading to Busselton to deliver a load of fuel, actually. So, it's good fun out on the road. I bloody love it.
Beautiful. You want to ask Paul a question?
Quickly. I will, boys, but quickly, what I was referencing in my text was literally the first line of the song used for On This Day is On This Day I See Clearly. That's what I was actually referencing. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Cliff song.
No, I was not having a dig at you, Paul, I promise.
Okay. All right.
Nice work.
You've made amends, Dave.
Yes, well done, Dave. Drive carefully. He's one of our loyal listeners. Noddy's got a text for you, Paul. Who do you listen to prior to SEN WA, and what made you switch and stay listening?
Well, I listen to SEN WA Breakfast, but I also listen to the Sport FM podcast as well.
Yep.
So I listen to both.
Yep.
And then... and then we listen to a lot of different podcasts as well. So one thing that SEN does do with all their podcast stuff is you can listen to people here in Western Australia, and you can listen to a Victorian view as well, and you can form your own opinion. Yeah. Based, you're not just getting the one narrative, which you might be getting on other channels.
Well, you've got this opinion because about some months ago you were on Duff's show. You called in. Paul from Gosnells had this. This is a couple of months ago. Have a listen.
Any merit in exploring the option of one of those 2 teams maybe playing a game or 2 in the southwest, being funded potentially by the West Australian government or the tourism sector for the southwest, and sort of creating a bit of an appetite. You could even have 2 games here where maybe North Melbourne would come over and play in either Bunbury or Busselton or whatever, and play Fremantle one week and West Coast the next.
Oh.
How long ago was that?
That was the 29th of May.
29th of May. No one had spoken about it.
Where?
No.
What did Duff say? That's a stupid idea, Paul. As if that's ever going to happen.
Duff is a big advocate of the
proud
20th
believer.
licence in the southwest, and that's why I rung him, because I knew of his passion for that
Southwest.
20th licence.
He's big on the 20th licence. So 29th of May, Paul Crestani said, you've got to claim it. It's one of the all-time great comments. So we should enter the media awards. You win best news story. Fantastic. That is brilliant. You nailed it, and it's followed suit. Are you excited about that prospect?
I am. I just hope I can get a ticket.
Yep. Do you go? Where do you go to games?
Yeah, I've actually been to every game of AFL at Optus Stadium.
Not missed a game.
And do you commentate the games again?
Oh, no. Not
Are
the
you
AFL.
are you synced up? Are you SEN Stadium now? Do you have your headphones in, or how do you take it in?
SEN Stadium or one of the other channels like ABC or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yes.
We should have just stopped there.
Just be careful. We've got you in the studio. They don't have you in the studio.
Yeah, every other station's delayed, Paul. Well,
Yes, it's delayed, Paul, but it doesn't bother him.
Not on the big AM radio, it's not.
Very good. Nice work by you. So, we're going to stick around, Paul, because we're going to be speaking with Emma O'Driscoll after the news, and then we'll got you in the studio. Isn't it lovely? We've got even our listeners who, like Scotty from Bayswater, was offering the boys a coffee. You don't drink coffee?
No. But thanks very much, Scotty.
Not at all. What is wrong with you?
I'm with you,
I
mate.
know what's wrong with you.
Paul and I are the same, mate. You can't put diesel in a Ferrari.
Well,
it's as simple as that, mate.
Coke, beer, juice and water, that's about it for me.
Ray is asking from Bunbury, Paul, is it out of line to ask you how you became blind?
I was actually just born blind. My mum unfortunately had rubella when she was pregnant with me, and now all the girls are vaccinated against that, so that's no longer an issue. So if I was born probably 10 years later, when the vaccines were a thing, I would have perfect vision. The good thing about that is the kids aren't going to get it passed on to them.
Yep.
And, for someone who can't see, I genuinely believe I have a good life.
Well, you are.
You're always smiling, mate. We
Always
love you.
smiling. How do you get my texts? When we text, how do you read my text?
So I've got, on my iPhone, there's a function called VoiceOver.
Yeah.
And it will read. I mean, I can play a text after the next break. I'll maybe find one which is okay to.
Oh, be careful.
Okay to
Be careful.
Yeah,
Be careful.
don't play one of Goss's.
Be careful what I've said about Scott to you. Does it show the emoji?
It gives the emojis a different kind of name. So face screaming in fear, or
Gotcha.
smiling pile of
Gotcha.
poo, or
Or-
like whatever.
Or middle finger?
Yeah.
So Tim, next time you message him, load it up on emoji.
Well, I tell you
I'm
what,
gonna send the whole lot.
You send me a message during the break,
Yep.
and we'll play that
We'll
to
do.
the listener after.
Right
the
out.
break.
We'll do that. Let's get a breakaway and come back. Scotty and Bayswater's just dropped in with some coffee to meet Paul Crestani, which is absolutely brilliant. We're all part of the family here on SEN WA Breakfast. It's anyone with it. We will just our final show. We're farewell. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
Again, you get told nothing. What have you heard?
You'll find out. Rightio. It's okay. It's okay.
I love
You
that.
can just leave your swipe card.
No, no. What they
boy.
did.
Yep.
What they did I reckon it was a Singapore company during COVID, and they let go, 5,000 people, and basically it was like turn up to work tomorrow. If your card works and lets you in, you still have a job. If it doesn't, we'll send you your stuff, and that's how brutal it was. So I'm just waiting. I was tapping it a lot today.
I still park in Subi in my old Channel 10 car, but they don't know I've got a swipe card for that. It's cost me a fortune. Dave from Bunbury, we cut him off earlier, but he's the truck driver. He's driving to Busso. He might already be there now. He did have a question for Paul. We cut him off. Apologies, Dave. You got a question for Paul?
I do, boys, I do. Just quickly, boys, just the power of sport with father and son is a special thing, and hearing Toby and Paul's story to me is a special thing, because me and my father are the same. But just a question for yourself, Paul. Blind sport, I'm really interested, because obviously there's blind cricket, which if I remember correctly you do play. I was just curious to know if there's, or not if, but what other sports are out there for people who are visually impaired. It's just an interesting thing I've never thought about, which is something I should probably know more about.
Sure. So obviously blind cricket you mentioned. So that's where the ball has, I think the modern day ball might have something like rice or sand in it and is rolled along the ground rather than being bowled through the air. Other than that, pretty much the rules are the same.
What happens if the ball stops rolling? So therefore the sound stops. What happens then?
Someone
Can it take 10 minutes for someone to throw the ball back in? I'm being serious.
It doesn't take that long.
The batter just swinging willy-nilly down the pitch.
Because when people play blind cricket, there's all levels of eyesight categories.
Gotcha.
So
There
there's
is
people who are totally blind. There are people who are partially sighted as well.
I
So
love that.
they can't see enough to drive a car, for example, but they might be able to read some large print on a page and they can see a cricket ball on the ground. So one of those players will help them. Tandem cycling is something which is often done.
Golf.
Yeah, golf. Yeah,
them up.
sometimes they have a cat, or they do have a caddy who helps them line up and find the ball. There is a sport a game called swish, which is like table tennis for blind people. So instead of the ball going over the net is replaced with a board, and the ball remains on the table at all times and is swished under the table. So they're some of the more common things. Back in the day, and anyone like Scotty and Goss looking at me now would find this hard to believe, but I used to be an elite blind distance runner. I was about, in my mid-20s, probably only about 65 kilos, and I got about 8 seconds off going to the Paralympics. I ran a 1,500 in 4:36, and I needed 4:28
Good
to
stuff.
get there. So
I get it, mate. I was an elite athlete once. Too.
yeah, that's
Things happen.
Did you know that I took 9 for 8, 7 for 1, 7 for 1 in 3 consecutive weeks?
Have you got your trophies in the boot, by the way?
I do have a trophy in the car.
Any other questions, Dave?
Well, there's other sports like swimming as well. So that's something that blind people do. They're the main ones. I think I've probably missed one, but they're the main ones. And certainly tandem cycling, swish, cricket, and golf are all very open to everybody to do in Western Australia. Oh, goalball. I've represented Western Australia in a sport called goalball, which is really cool. So if people want to understand what goalball is, Google it. Basically, you've got 3 people on each team blindfolded. They stay at their end of the court, throw a ball as hard as they can along the ground and try and get it past the team at the other end. And everyone, regardless of whether you're partially sighted or got no sight at all, has to be blindfolded in that sport.
Oh, brilliant.
It's really cool.
Ray says lawn bowls as well. Good on you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dave. Hey, you asked before the break, before the news, I'm going to send you a message. So I texted Crestani a message, and Crestani and I have texted many times before, and I've texted Crestani. So this is what Crestani gets at the other end.
Notification Centre. Messages. 30 minutes ago. Tim Gossage. Hey Boothhead. Thanks for coming in this morning. Why do you barrack for Freo and when will they win the flag? Red heart. Flex bicep with light skin tone. Party face with a party blower. Hat and confetti. Button.
So
Buffhead.
A buffhead. So it says buffhead, but I sent him a text. So it's turned it up really loud this time. We'll play it again.
I don't know how to turn it up.
The volume
button on the side.
Obviously, they didn't want
Hey, you blind or something, mate?
Monkeys and rocket ships.
Don't ever work with children. Have you found it?
I think I've got it.
All righty, here we go. So,
Off. Clear. Notifications. Messages. 31 minutes ago. Tim Gossage. Hey Boothhead. Thanks for coming in this morning. Why do you barrack for Freo and when will they win the flag? Red heart. Flex bicep with light skin tone. Party face with a party blower. Hat and confetti. Button.
So Toby, do you just to piss him off sometimes? Do you just send a message and ask a question, but then have 27 emojis so he has to listen to
All right,
all
I'll
of
get an
them?
emoji you're not expecting. Like you just scroll all the way down the list and you get a real random one in the icon section.
so my message was, hey, Buffhead, thanks for coming in this morning. Why do you barrack for Freo and when will they win the flag? Love heart. And the funny part is light skin emoji flex.
Yeah,
bicep.
so there's
bicep.
different skin
So
tones.
skin
that you
tone,
can
they
do
tell you
on
skin tone.
emojis,
Skin tone.
and there's different
Wow.
genders as well. So it'll tell you the gender of
And-
the person.
and
if
the
you're doing
party-
person one.
Yeah, right.
And the party popper balloon. Why do you barrack for Fremantle, can I ask?
I don't know. I just started barracking for them when I moved to Perth. It was either follow West Coast or Freo. I just picked Freo.
Sport is your
Yeah, it
life,
was a
yeah?
good
Is sport your
decision.
life? I know you
Absolutely.
work. You work, of course, at Curtin.
Yes.
But sport is your life. You love sport. You love every sport. You're very passionate.
Yeah, AFL, cricket, Wildcats. We love the Wildcats. They're the main ones. But if there's sport on, we'll find it and find a coverage of it somewhere off some random radio station somewhere.
Well, Noddy's sent a question in too. It's a pretty serious one, but I'm not sure it's got a short answer. Is there something that the government needs to, you'd like the government to provide or introduce that would make life easier for you and others like you?
I think we're really fortunate with the NDIS. When you get it actually working well for you, it does a brilliant job. The challenge often is getting it to that point. So perhaps streamlining the NDIS a little bit would be a good start. And I think basically a lot of the services are around. I'm very, very fortunate that I've got my family, I've got a job, I've got a partner, I've got my sport, I've got a house, I've got the things that everybody kind of needs. I can't see, but everyone's got things in their life that they're not. They'd like to change, and if you focus on what you can do rather than what you can't, you'll have a really positive life.
Incredible stuff. Incredible.
You're a great man, mate.
Yeah, you are a great man. And Wayne from Dianella has texted in and said, Paul seems suitably qualified to be an AFL umpire. Nice work by you. Hey, Crestani, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being passionate. Thank you for keeping us honest. You've got strong opinions. Your knowledge is... we're going to play that Mark Duffield quote again. So this was back in May 29th, called Paul from Gosnells called in Mark Duffield's show and was talking about... Well, basically said North Melbourne and the like. Hey, Toby, thank you for coming in too. And, mate, Griff and Chris are out there looking very, very nervous because you are looking for a job in media, producing and panel operating and sport.
They might escort you out pretty quickly. Don't take it personally, mate.
And all three of them are from Chris a little bit older, but from the same genre, all wearing hats. Have you noticed the hat wearers in the house today?
Oh, yeah.
All
You're
three.
indoors.
The
Never
Jordan,
noticed that. I don't take my hat off until I go to bed.
You're Jordan
I'm
Clark.
like Jordan
man.
Clark. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, guys. We're going to play this again. Thank you.
What a
Thank you,
great morning.
Crestani. We've really enjoyed it. Our listeners have loved it. Thank you. Thank you, both of you.